Hello, hello, hello. Good evenings. Thank you for staying up late with Coach Jay and I. Sorry that we've come on late, but we were having some technical difficulties because Ruthie does not know how to work her laptop still, but she's learning every day. Welcome to the Tom Gronkowski Show, brought to you by Fans Only Sports Network. It's Coach Jay and I, and our show is about Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski and their move from the Beantown to the Bay. So, week 2, check. It is in the books. 48-25. What a phenomenal performance by Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. I had the opportunity to be in the building, in the press box, my first credentialed NFL game. Super exciting. It was a great night. Thought I was, floating on cloud 9 throughout the night and throughout the evening. It was awesome. Make sure to travel to sportstalkflorida.com and catch all my latest articles. I was able to break the news for Sports Talk Florida. As I was at practice today, we found the news of Antonio Brown and his issues with COVID-19. Coach Jay and I are definitely going to talk about the repercussions that are coming as they face the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium for week 3. Now, some might say that this is the game that's really going to set the tone, because our first 2 matchups, even though the Dallas Cowboys are America's team, people were expecting this to be an easy cruise in the first 2 weeks. So now things are starting to heat up. We got Matthew Stafford 2-0 with the LA Rams. They have a very powerful defense. Sean McVay is a Super Bowl caliber coach. So we got our first test coming this week. Some of you in the group chat might disagree. If you guys have something to say, please let us know in the comments. If you have anything you need to debate, if you have some questions you want to throw at me, if you guys want to talk about anything other than sports, that's okay with us. But here we concentrate on Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the NFC South division. We'll talk a lot about that because the Panthers are looking pretty good as well. It seems like Sam Darnold has given himself new life after leaving the New York Jets and joining Matt Rule and the Panthers. But I'm talking enough. Let me get my assistant in here, my coach, Coach Jay Morgan. Welcome to the show. How are you feeling tonight? Sorry
great.
that I've kept you up late, but I definitely needed to get a show in today because a lot to talk about. And we got some people in the chat already. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to Naomi. Love you too, girl. Appreciate the support. Coach Jay, how are you doing?
I'm great. I've been great. Yeah. Another day of success.
So before we dive into a lot of Bucs talk, are there any other games that happened over the weekend that had your attention? Was there any games that you were watching maybe after you saw the Buccaneers game or maybe during? Because I was that person in the press box that had my Dallas Cowboys game in the bottom corner as I'm, paying attention, taking notes of every snap that's going on with the Bucs. I also had my eye on the corner, and the Dallas Cowboys are 1-1. So I'm very excited about that. Any other games for you, my friend, that caught your eye that we could squash real quick?
I watched basically all of them. The Dallas Cowboys, I was going to say it anyway, that they're a team to be reckoned with right now. I mean, they look good to me. Colts, they gave the game away when they was playing to the Rams, right? They played the Rams.
I mean, Carson Wentz went down with a double sprained ankle injury, which I don't really understand how that works. But I did see him get wrapped up with a defensive lineman, and his ankle definitely twisted behind him. And then I guess it was like right after that, he sprained the other ankle. So it was back to back. I know that he was getting sacked a lot. They were getting a lot of putting Carson on his back a lot that game. So
turnovers. He kept getting hit and turnover. They gave the game away. Like, you could have put it away so many times, and they didn't. And I tell everybody, the Colts is always a team that's always around. You can't never sleep on the Colts. The Colts, they got a formula. They always around. You can't just turn your head on the Colts. The Colts is going to be the Colts. They're going to battle. they're going to, but that's just
But
uncharacteristic.
what are the Colts going to be without Carson Wentz? Carson's going to be out for the next few weeks. So I believe Jacob Eason is their backup quarterback. Do they have a chance without Carson Wentz at helm?
They should have kept Brissett, honestly. Maybe.
And Jacoby Brissett where is he right now? I know that he is somewhere in the league, probably getting an opportunity because they're first.
Saw him.
Yeah, is it Jacoby Brissett in Miami?
Yeah. Because Tua got hurt.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was a bad weekend for quarterbacks for week 3. I even saw Tom Brady take 2 sacks during the game, which was definitely something that we're not used to seeing. And he rushed for 8 yards, which is not something that he likes to do. And he talked about it in the press conference. Like, that wasn't expected. That's not what I wanted to do. I was kind of freaking out at that moment because that's just not how I roll. And it was great to see him, think quick on his feet and do anything to avoid an injury. Like, if you're going to run, if you're going to use your legs, Tom, remember that you're 44. Remember that these defensive players do not care. They're ruthless. So you got to be careful, because if Brady were to go down, I would be afraid that this would fall like a house of cards.
Mm-hmm. They was in man coverage. Everybody had their backs turned, so that's the only reason why he took off. Everybody across the board was in man coverage, and everybody had their backs turned, and they stupid because they should have stayed in man coverage, honestly. But they don't know how to play their man. They don't know how to play the 2-man under, because for the simple fact is, every time when they try to play man coverage, then you get hit with a corner route, guy wide open because you got your back turned. So, and then they try to play zone. I don't know why you're playing zone against Tom Brady. We all know that you can't play zone against Tom Brady unless
the Falcons definitely struggled.
Unless you have 4 guys that can get to Tom Brady consistently, you better call the Giants and them. They know you got to have 4 guys across the board that can get to him consistently, and then you can hit everybody else in coverage. Until then, you can't be running no cover 3, and you can't run no cover 2. Him and Gronk ate that and saw that so many times. Before every snap, Gronk turns around and looks at him. You see that? They're talking to each other. Every snap. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't believe me, go look at it. Every snap, he turns around, looks up. You saw that? Yeah. All right. They changed their own play. A couple times, Gronk was pass blocking. All of a sudden, it's a delay because he sees it open. They see a look. They've seen all the looks, and they know how to counter it all. It's just like playing flag football against somebody. When you see somebody in a certain look, it's just automatic what they do. Like, it does not matter what team it is, what team you're playing, or what team you are. When you see certain stuff, you just automatically do it. In flag football, I was always taught, if you block 2, send 3. I mean, that works. But if you got somebody that can play man coverage and they got one guy that can sit, now it's a game. The guy blitz, you replace. Throw it right where he left. Boom. Until you got a guy that can float over there. Now.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Rob very active during the Falcons, especially in the first 2 quarters. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns. I believe we were at the 11-minute mark in the second quarter when he got his second touchdown. He had 4 receptions for 39 yards. 20 yard is the longest. He's always there for those long catches to get to the end zone. That's what Gronk is really good at. And him and Tom Brady kept connected for 2 touchdowns. So now they have 103 touchdowns between the duo and regular season and playoff. So it's pretty remarkable what they're doing. I think they might have a chance to overcome Peyton Manning and Marcus Harrison when it comes to the most passes between a duo. Did I say Marcus? I meant Marvin. Marvin Harrison.
With the big old eyes. He don't talk. Never talked.
Did you get a chance to watch Lamar Jackson defeat the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday night? Did you get a chance to watch that game?
Yeah. I was a Gator.
Spectacular. Doing a cartwheel in the end zone, but Mike Edwards can't, do a moonwalk into the end zone after he catches his second pick 6. I don't understand it, refs.
Just
what is considered what is considered teasing, or whatever the call is that they want to call taunting. What is considered taunting? Because I'm not I'm not getting it. I'm not feeling it like it's very consistent between these refs.
When you make it straight to directly to the source.
Right. Like if you're getting in somebody's face, if you're, giving him the John Cena, you can't see me, if you're putting the peace sign, which Tyreek Hill did again, and the refs did nothing last week. So it's like, I'm not understanding how Antoine Winfield Jr. or Sean Murphy Bunting can get a flag during the Super Bowl, but Tyreek Hill can just have fun. That's just how he does. But
it's the moment.
But that Lamar Jackson Chiefs matchup was pretty spectacular. Clyde Edwards-Helaire with the late fumble in the fourth quarter with just a minute to go. It was hard to see. But I'm glad that Lamar got that monkey off his back, as people say, by beating Kansas City for the first time and beating Patrick Mahomes. So congratulations to Lamar. You have made the Kansas City Chiefs 1-1 in their division, and the Raiders are above the Chiefs right now because the Raiders are undefeated. The Raiders are 2-0 right now, but hey, still early. Still early in the NFL season, so let's relax for right now. But we are going to take a quick commercial break because Coach Jay and I, since we've had a late show, we are not going to stay on too late because we're adults and have to be up early in the morning. So we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this drug, we believe, can be a game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
Odyssey Group. Shout out to that corporation doing what it takes to help these athletes avoid concussions and avoid issues later on in their life. So shout out to Odyssey Group. We are back here at the Tom Gronkowski Show. This is Ruth the Truth, and I'm accompanied by Coach Jay Morgan, brought to you by Fans Only Sports Network. We are talking about Week 3 coming up. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be on the road to face the LA Rams and Matthew Stafford, who is also 2-0 in the NFC West. Now, I will say, I think the NFC West is probably one of the toughest divisions of the NFL season, if you were to ask me. I think everybody, including the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the 49ers, everybody's kind of like right there with one another. So how do you think the Rams measure up to the other competition in their division?
They turn the ball over. Matt Stafford is still Matt Stafford at the end of the day. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm just saying. You still look like Matt Stafford to me. He was just in a darker blue.
Okay, so let me ask you another question. Out of Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo,
all right,
Matthew Stafford, Murray. And we cannot forget Kyler Murray. Yeah. Who is your quarterback to pick out of those four?
Russell Wilson. I believe.
Why Russ?
Because Russ, he does not make boneheaded mistakes. He's a thinker. I love him. I've been I've always loved Russell Wilson. He's just that character kind of guy for me.
He is that guy.
He's the guy. And he was Sierra. With Sierra. Come on now.
I really love the performance that Kyler Murray has had. And Rob in the comments agrees with me. This is why me and Rob get along so well. Kyler Murray's been sensational.
That's fine.
And I feel like if he could stay healthy, then they could have a serious chance on making a playoff run. But like I said, that division is very, very, very tough. And Naomi in the comments agrees with me. He is that guy.
That's fine.
I'm not sure if she's talking about Russell or she's talking about Kyler, but I hope she's talking about Kyler because
I didn't say Kyler was trash. I like Kyler. I take Russ. I trust Russ.
When someone's been to the Super Bowl back-to-back seasons and had success for long terms in Seattle, I don't know if Russ has ever not gone to the playoffs. That's something I definitely want to look up. Whether he's ever not been to the playoffs while being a Seattle Seahawks.
I think one time they didn't make it. 1 or 2 times. I really want to say one. It was one they had one of them bad years. They had no offensive line. I like Russ. Russ
is the most level-headed quarterback in the league for real, though. No situation is pressure to him. Shout out to Rob Graphics in the comments. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But let's turn the tide a little bit. Let's talk about a quarterback who's really sensational. Let's talk about Tom Brady and him winning the FedEx Air Player of the Week for the second time in a row after a 5-touchdown performance against the Atlanta Falcons.
9 in 2 weeks.
9 touchdowns and 2 out. He leads the league right now. At 44 years old, Tom Brady is leading the league with 9 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks, and there is no sign of him slowing down. And with all the offensive weapons and ammunition, it is no surprise. So how would you grade Tom Brady's performance in week 2 against the Falcons? Give it to me. Give it to me straight, Coach Jay.
And week 2 against the Falcons, I would have to give Tom Brady an A+ because the Falcons. Well, I'm gonna give him an A because really the Falcons, they were giving them stuff. Come on now.
I will admit there were some bad throws from Brady. There were some low throws. There were some situational. Yeah, there were some things that, and even Bruce Arians attested to this, that there were some times that Tom Brady was getting a little greedy and holding on to the ball for a little bit too long.
Yeah.
And that's something that he would like to see clean up. And obviously, Bruce Arians is the type of head coach that's going to call you out on your BS. He does not hold anything back. He is not worried about hurting anybody's feelings, and that's something we can appreciate.
You know what I saw all week, the whole time watching football?
What did you see?
Bad offensive line play. Call me. Where y'all at? Man, come on. Y'all letting everybody get killed. Quarterbacks got offensive linemen standing there watching their guy get killed. Oh, the quarterback is your little sister. Y'all forgot. And you sitting there watching your little sister get hit left and right. That's ridiculous. Offensive
Tom Brady he was sacked twice and then had a rush for 8 yards, which is something that we don't really see him doing. And when I saw him slide, it almost looked like his left shoulder kind of got caught behind him, which was something alarming. It went from being really, really loud in the Raymond James to hearing a mouse.
It was like, hey.
They were like, whoa. That is something that we're not used to and what we do not want to see when it comes to Tom Brady and making sure he's protected.
You good? You good?
Yeah, it was great to see him bounce back up pretty quick.
Somebody had to ask him that after the game. You
you okay? Yeah, are you okay? You score? You feeling any pain? We got to get that taken care of. At 44 years old, I'm pretty sure you can't bounce back like you did at 25. And, the majority of these quarterbacks in the league are like 25. I think they're average like 24 years old, which is crazy to think about, that Brady is 20 years older than the average age of a quarterback in the league.
And takes lesser hits than those 20-year-olds. Those 20-year-olds are not going to make it to 40-something because they take too many hits because everybody wants to be Michael Vick.
The Bucs get it. Everybody wants to be Michael Vick.
They want to be Michael Vick. Everybody want to take off.
That's
Oh,
the new
slide.
that's the new era of these quarterbacks. They want to
Okay, yeah.
show off their athleticism.
Yeah,
They want
alright.
to gain every yard they possibly can. They want to use their feet. Lamar Jackson winning the MVP after having the most rushing yards as a quarterback.
And
It's
what
kind of becoming a
happens to him
popular
in the
thing.
playoffs? And what happens to him in the playoffs? Fellas, we know who's getting the ball, okay? All we going to do is make sure that we keep tattooing him. He's going to give it back to us. We're going to keep tattooing him all night. Coach, what if he don't have the ball? You still hit him anyway. He is behind the line of scrimmage, you still pop him. Because then if the refs say anything, hey, ref, we didn't know if he was faking it. Hey, we hitting him in the tailback. You are to tattoo this quarterback immediately. I want him hit every play. If you don't hit him every play, you're going to sit down. Somebody else going to do it. Period.
Next man up. That's the mentality.
Period. When you talking like that, they're going to get to him. That's the reason why these 20-year-old quarterbacks don't survive much long. Look, Patrick Mahomes, okay, I love Pat. He runs around when he has to, but what does he mostly do? He sits in that pocket and shreds you up with Andy Reid's offense. Only thing he mostly do that involves him running is gimmicks. That's it. Just gimmicks. All you 20-some-year-old running, y'all better learn how to sit back in that pocket and be able to go. Kyler Murray, you've been sitting in the pocket. You run when you have to. Russ,
it was incredible to see him escape a sack, okay, and still get the ball 30 yards down the field. And the accuracy, like double defender on your wide receiver, and you're still putting it right on the dime.
Oh, yeah.
Kyler Murray is something special. That is a quarterback that I wasn't mad when he was selected as the NFC quarterback for the Pro Bowl last year, even though everybody was like, oh, it should be Tom Brady. I'm like, Brady is focused on the Super Bowl. He's not worried about the Pro Bowl. It's most likely not even going to happen, which it didn't even transpire because of COVID.
Tom ain't coming to that stuff. That's little money to Tom. Man, like, man, you can have that, Kyler. Go ahead.
But yes, congratulations to Tom Brady and winning his second in a row FedEx Air Player of the Year or of the Week, voted by the National Football League. And there was another Buccaneer that won a award after their week performance, and that is Mike Edwards, who has earned the NFC Defensive Player of the Week after 2 picks almost back-to-back on Matt Ryan in the Falcons. Now, I'm sure it's a breath of fresh air to not only have a outstanding offense, but to have a defense that is willing to put points on the board as well. 14 points. Well, 13 because Ryan Suckup missed one extra point. So it was ended up 13 points added to the 35 of the 3 different receivers, including the tight end, Rob Gronkowski, who had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. In the first and second quarter, Mike Edwards showed up, which everybody was kind of talking a lot of.
Mike Evans, they tripping on Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans, that was one of the players that everybody was like, where was he in week 1? I mean, I know that it has a lot to do with fantasy because everybody's all worried about how many points that he's putting up on fantasy. So when he's causing disturbance and not giving people points and they're losing weeks over who they're starting at wide receiver, it becomes a little bit of an issue. But Mike got his 2 touchdowns, and he was a receiver that got the most yards with 5 receptions, 9 targets, 75 yards, averaging 15 a carry or 15 a catch. So congratulations, Mike Evans has been reborn, and he is back on the scene, and we're just going to continue to see him get greater and greater throughout the season.
He was never gone. That's the reason why Leftwich was like, man, we ain't worried about that, man. He going to do his thing. Don't worry about that, man. I wouldn't even answer no questions about Mike Evans if people was talking trash. I'd be like, man, whatever. Okay.
Like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with people's fantasy teams and whether or not they won. That's where their focus is at.
I just want the team to win.
Right. And Rob in the comments says Mike got more TD receptions from Ryan than anyone on the Falcons. He's talking about Mike Edwards, who got those 2 pick sixes on Ryan at the end of the 4th. We got to talk to Mike Edwards today after practice during the press conference, and he's a little bit of a smooth talker. He was able to go up there and just kind of compose himself and be like, yeah, it is what it is. That's what happened. I capitalized on the mistakes. I am what they call a ball hawk. That's kind of been my nickname given to me by Bruce Arians, and he owned it. So it was awesome to talk to Edwards, and he was very appreciative of the award that he was given after this weekend's performance. But like he says, he's focused on the LA Rams. He's focused on shutting down Cooper Kupp and etc. And that's what his main focus is. So he didn't really want to talk too much about the award because that is not what was on his mind. So, Coach Jay, what do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to narrow down on defensively to shut down the Rams this coming weekend for Week 3? Is there any scheme that they need to draw up?
Keep the same scheme that they had this last week, because you're gonna be it's Stafford. Come on, y'all. All we got to do is make sure that we get there. Just get to the quarterback. Get to the quarterback. If you get to the quarterback, he's just gonna throw it up. He's been throwing prayers for years and still ain't had them answered. So I'm telling you, he is going to just give it to you. Defensive backs. It comes down to the defensive backs. I am not worried about Mike Edwards and the up front 7. I'm not worried about them. They're good. It's the guys in coverage back there that scare me. So
the Carlton Davises, the Ross Crockrill, who we saw get taken advantage of against Calvin Ridley. It seemed like he was lining up wherever Ross was at, and because he knew that was a weak spot, and they were kind of taking advantage of that in the fourth.
Exploit them. So up front, it's gonna be the front 7 with Mike Edwards. When you guys are in there, if you keep the pressure going and you keep getting to Stafford, it's going to make him throw quick. Don't let him get on rhythm, and don't let him sit back there because he'll torch you. But if you guys hurry it up and keep the hurry coming, with the twist up front, we had a stunt that was with the tackle in the end. We also had a blitz coming down. That's how Mike Edwards got the pick, is because for the simple fact we were giving different looks and we was flying around having fun, but they couldn't exploit our other guys back there because we weren't giving them no time. And that's what I tell every team that I've ever coached. I don't know about them guys back there. So up front, I need all y'all to hurry up and get here because I don't trust them. And I say it in front of their face. I don't trust them. Yeah,
Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh, who had his first sack of the season. Congratulations to Sue. I got up close and personal with the defensive linemen today as they were in the indoor practice facility, kind of in their own corner.
Did you see Joe? Tell Joe I said hi.
Tell Joe you say hi. I'll tell Joe you say hi. I got practice again tomorrow. That will probably be my last practice of the week because I'll be leaving town. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be on the road this weekend. I believe they're leaving Friday afternoon to fly to LA to prepare for the Rams. So 4:00 kickoff Eastern Standard Time. It's a 1:00 game in LA. And that's something that is a relief because that's not too much of a time constraint for the Bucs. They're not playing like at an absurd. They're not playing at like a 1:00 time where it would be, it would be like 9:00. What 9:00? 9:00 here in Orlando or here in Tampa. So that's a relief. But Matthew Stafford is playing great football with the LA Rams. Are you worried at all about Stafford and what he can do to that secondary, who is going to be missing? Jordan Whitehead is back, but they're still going to be missing Sean Murphy-Button in that cornerback position. So Ross Crockrill, the veteran, will be taking over for him. So how we feeling about whether or not we could contain the wide receivers for the Rams?
It has to. Up the front.
Yeah, because we also have like Robert Woods as well. That's somebody that kind of sliced up our defense last season. Because if people remember, last season, the Rams kind of embarrassed us slightly here at the Raymond James, and we made Jared Goff look like a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, which we all believe that he may not be. And it was a little bit of a fluke when he was against the Rams when he was against the Patriots with that Rams Patriots really sad, slow-paced Super Bowl.
I expect the Rams head coach to tell them all week and preach this week that they cannot afford to turn the ball over, because if you turn the ball over to Tom Brady, and he's not like the Colts. The Colts and them were either getting nothing and turning it back over, or they were getting like kicks. Tom Brady is going to get touchdowns. If you keep giving him the ball back, he's going to keep scoring and keep scoring and keep scoring.
Just keep going. Just keep going. I mean, there's just so many options. And we got some breaking news that has happened today. Do you want to tell our audience what I'm talking about?
Talking about AB?
AB? What's going on with AB, coach?
I can't believe this. AB, he looked like the Steelers AB. He was right there. Everything was going so great. And then he got COVID.
Yeah, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have announced earlier this morning, that Antonio Brown was put on the COVID reserve list and will be most likely unavailable against the Rams. But like I always say, next man up mentality. The Tampa Bay Bucs have depth. They just signed wide receiver John Hurst off of the practice squad. So, and I mean, we still got Scotty Miller. We still got Tyler Johnson. We still got OJ Howard at that tight end position. It
don't matter. We have everybody. We could have everybody not even be on COVID and just sit them down for one quarter. Be like, all right, second unit, y'all go in. Y'all go have some fun. All right. Sit down, freshman. Get back in there, y'all. Get back in there. Go ahead. The simple fact is, the Rams only have really – okay, so they're going to have Jalen Ramsey. Okay, cool. Jalen Ramsey. I'm going to take this guy. All right, Jalen, you got that guy. And Tom's going to be like, okay, so you're going to take that guy. I'm going to shred you with the rest then, because you can't take Gronk. You're too small. And they're going to put Gronk on a single side by himself sometimes and see. Not only to mention – like I said, now our problem is on defense. I've already seen it. I've seen it multiple games. We are letting one guy on one team just keep killing us. That is the problem. If Lamb from the Cowboys can put on a show like that, imagine what Cooper Kupp can do.
Yeah, he's an amazing route runner. And Carlton Davis attested to that during the press conference today, that they know that Cooper Kupp is an outstanding route runner and he creates space against the defenders. So that's somebody that they're definitely concentrated on when it comes to shutting them down, because Matthew Stafford loves to throw the deep ball and Cooper Kupp loves to run for that deep ball. So that is going to be a concern for our secondary. And the backfield's got to be ready for that.
It's got to be the backfield. Everybody else, linebackers, defensive line, y'all doing y'all thing. Y'all keep doing it. Keep doing it, because you're doing it and you're doing it oh so well and oh so flamboyant. All right? You keep doing what you do. All right? Y'all keep acting the fool. The problem is these guys in the back. You're going to have to save them, because they getting killed. Like, man, you got to stick on your man.
Rob wants to know, who is covering Kupp? No one is the answer.
No. You can't take Edwards and put him in coverage, because then you're messing up your little package that you have. He basically is the nickel. He's the nickel. That's why they was doing all that. They mixing it up. He's basically a hybrid. He's playing defensive back plus a linebacker, basically. So if you take him and just keep him back in coverage, you ain't really – who else you going to have do the stunts and all that, or come in on the blitz? You don't want to.
Yeah, they were getting creative with the blitz in that Atlanta Falcons game, where the defensive linemen were creating a gap for Devin White to come in and, apply some pressure on Matt Ryan. So shout out to Todd Bowles for getting kind of creative as the defensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Bucs. So yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp is definitely on the mind. Darius Williams is a great cornerback for the LA Rams, so that's going to be somebody to keep an eye on for our wide receivers to be getting open. But I hope that we see a little bit of OJ Howard this coming Sunday. That's one of the tight ends that got a little bit of playing time late in the third quarter against the Atlanta Falcons, but that's somebody I want to continue to see out on that field. Coach Jay, We're going to be calling it a night soon. Do you want to do your X's and O's before we get out of here?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to show y'all a couple of mistakes. But I'm also show y'all the promised land at the same time.
All right, we got X's and O's coming to you now. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Tom Gronkowski Show, brought to you by Fans Only Sports. We'll be right back.
Talk to them boys that sat on them benches, man. I was in the game on 4th and inches. Coach, put me in the game on 4th and inches. And I'ma lead them boys at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I see them boys all behind me winless. I ain't Mario Williams, but I'm not defenseless. Wide receiver catching Hail Marys, I'm Christian. 5 and out, hot route, yeah, switch stick shift. Gone with the quickness, fast and instant. Cornerback safeties, I burn them like incense. On the field, I'm daddy, and the ball is my infant. I don't need so much of pork, but I'm in love with the pigskin. All I really know how to do is win. Super Bowl champ, Disney World, let the kids in. Hall of Fame Wayne, I'm putting my dibs in. Catch me in the game on 4th inches.
The Empire.
I don't talk.
All right. So we back with another episode of Coach's X's and O's. I'm gonna break down basically what we seen. I'm gonna show you what these people, it's numbers. Why do they make it so hard? I don't get that. Like, it's numbers. If you got three receivers over there, why do you only have 2 defenders? I don't get that. And that's the stuff that Tom be doing. Here we go, right here. Tom will come out with something simple. So since I already got this here, I'm just going to use this. Tom will come out. We'll have an X right here. We'll have a Z right. Well, we'll have a Y right here. And we'll have an H. Hold up. I'm going to use my H. We'll have the H right here. And I'm just going to mix it up. That's a bunch formation, ladies and gentlemen. You have 3 receivers. I don't understand why people is doing this. They put one guy right there, or they have one guy right here, and sometimes they mostly have the backer come out here, which is a mismatch anyway. That's all look at that. 2. Look at that. You got 2 versus 3. So all they do is, and then they're not even in man coverage. They're in zone. So they go boom and just open it up. This guy goes through free. This guy comes over here somewhere. And then this guy's doing something like this. Up naturally, somebody's going to be open on that. Take you over to the single side. They keep putting Gronk by himself. They'll bring him in a little bit. This guy, he'll come over a little bit. But we already know him and Tom got the look to each other. So they'll already know and just look at each other. And just going to read it. We know you're in zone, so you're flooding away. So either Gronk is just going to hit the seam and go up the middle, or he's going to come, bait you in, and then hit to the middle again. Because mostly everybody was running cover 2 or cover 3. And every time when they did run man, the reason why Tom Brady ran in is because everybody was actually in man. And they had their backs turned for the same reason why earlier he threw the corner route. Why not? I mean, Antonio Brown is going to catch that regardless. The defender's back is turned. He's looking. So we're going to throw it right over his head. Same reason when Tom rolled out here and you got Grunt coming. Boom. Right there to the curve. Ladies and gentlemen, it's simple math. Okay. 5 versus 5, 11 versus 11, 3 versus 3, 2 versus 2. All we have to do is make sure that you add and have the stacks of the numbers. Now, that's them going against us, and we're going to score regardless. Defensive wise, you see all these lines and all that here. Yeah, I've been working on some stuff. This is how the Bucs is going to be successful. Like I said, I don't trust these guys. I don't trust them at all. I trust this guy more because he is the nickel. He's going to be coming down in the box. Yes, they're going to do a lot of twists. Which is this is what they did earlier this week. This is what they did this last week. They got a guy gonna come in, boom. We're gonna come out here and attack. The pressure is gonna get to Matt. If you can get to Matt Stafford, I've been looking at it for years. Here's the formula. We're just gonna get down to it. If you can get to Matt Stafford, he's gonna throw you the ball. He does not want to get hit. And after being in Detroit, the man is really sick of getting hit. He don't want to never experience that stuff anymore. So, offensive wise, y'all keep doing y'all thing. We always establish the run. That's another reason why we get people. We come in full heavy run. We got a fullback that's a defensive lineman and all. This formation says run all over it. All over it, it says run. What we do, we fake it. We roll out. You got Gronk pretending he's going to block somebody. Then he comes out there and then boom. Okay? Says run all over it. Offense, keep running the ball. Jones, sorry for that. I still don't trust you. Jones, keep doing your thing. All the other running backs are
I'm glad that you brought up the running back room, because that is a conversation that we need to have. Ronald Jones has been making some stupid mistakes that, as a third-year running back, needs to be cleaned up. So are you upset that Leonard Fournette might be taking a majority of the carries going into Sunday's game against the Rams?
Bruce, don't do it. Give it. No. I believe in you, Ronald. I know you can do it. I don't trust Fournette. I've seen it already. He's too slow for me, regardless anyway. But keep running the ball, Bucks. Hit the play action. I'm telling you. He said Dwayne Wade. I heard that before.
And Dean Cole together. No, I can't unsee it. I
like that.
Rob.
I've always heard
he's the funniest.
I've always heard Stephon Urkel.
I can see that too.
I've been hearing this since I was like 5.
I look like me.
Yeah. You.
I get Sandra Hayek. What's her name? Sandra Hayek. Salma Hayek. I get Salma Hayek a lot. I get.
The girl that was on Wild Wild West. It was like, Rita, if you need anything, right. I'm right here.
All right. Well, we're gonna call it a night because it's getting late. I got to be at practice early in the morning.
I got to tell you something. One other thing. Defense.
One final thought before we call it a night.
Okay. Defense. Sell out. You're going to have to make up for the guys in the back. So the up front 7, y'all going to have to get it done. And that's it. X's and O's out.
X's and O's out. You've heard it. Now that we got his theme song back up, we're going to start doing X's and O's every week. Because now that we have some football to break down, Coach Jay is going to be having some formations for the Bucs to execute for the following week. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Tom Gronkowski Show. We appreciate all the comments that came in. Shout out to Rob Graphics. Make sure to hit him up for any logos and graphics that you need. Shout out to Jay Mervelstein and Naomi for showing love and support. We appreciate you guys watching the Tom Gronkowski Show. That is all for us. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and we will see you next week after the Rams and Tampa Bay matchup.
We're winning.
Have a great night.